So there is a new Igbo king in Ghana. Nigerian or Hinebi, sorry, say. I think it's almost in Nigeria for an two Abama or something like that. Or one is, say, or Igbo king in Ghana. Now, anyone and Kamibabe recorded this video on, and I'm a chance upon a live stream and a Nigerian be a hostia no church and same. Medebeka sa video we who no washe. Hello everybody, my name is Nana Benenyankonton. You welcome to my channel once again. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss some videos like this. As I'm making this video, there are a few things from the previous video Nameka say, and also the previous live stream Nameka say no. There are some questions Omo ask here. I'd like to share my view on that. When I went on that live stream, I met a few of Ghanaians over there. And during the conversation, the points are not Nigeria for any reason. To me, not it make sense kakra. The entire maker say it make sense kakra and say they had the Nigerians' best interest at heart. In Tinsebna no more kind no saying can be a Nigerian here. And can make us oh, those are tangible questions I busa I didn't Ghana for an answer. But one thing I realized is that Ghana for no more so no. They were too emotional for that conversation. So what I say, me request a young family, but I'll try and answer those questions to my best of knowledge. Also bet me answer so share side video we are. Now first things first. When I got sent the video of King Ghana, no oka say there is an expose say oh there is this Igbo king Oba Beto Asase is 250 acres of land. Now Oba Besi or Nwankasa Palace, Oba Besi or Nwankasa just a community, a fully functioning community. There will be hospitals, there will be schools, there will be houses only for Igbos. No, no. The first thought about me said, I say and come for no move free Nigeria. What I say, and I may call a little bit, Google search, me the better screen is some most and what practically what the search was saying, they say. So according to oral history, you say Nkran for a free Nigeria migrated from Yoruba land and Oba modern day Ghana. But there is no way to verify that because according to my research they said there's no evidence, but according to oral history, and I don't know whether we can trust this oral history, but also want to say as Africans, most of our history is oral. Yes, don't need any database here. Quite possibly, you say, I'm panning na win a catcher win a week catcher in a week catcher in a bay, sir. Into I don't know, says sanity, but you find to chain. Say, and crown for a free Yoruba lander when we Igbos, and even on the internet, the Yorubas they are against Igbos. Say, Umbabetu mu community no ewo Ghana because you see, be a Igbo full be no, some munyama, they want their culture to prevail. They want things done their own way. I mean, me tell say kudos to culture. We all uphold culture, but so baby too community, fully functional community with hospitals, schools, and houses just for Igbos. I don't think say it is in the interest of Ghanaians. See, etna home asanko fu be yesade way yasa sisua. And as a concerned Ghanaian citizen, I think say we are doomed. Say yentimi ani bibi amfa ho a. We enye tribalism, I say when you try baby and then you try be as people are speculating on the internet. Never tribe and don't change. Now you attack this issue as Ghanaians because show say encan for assassins to say BBC asantifo properties was asantifo be brainer in crime. What you say to question say now we are going to lose our sisters and brothers. Apart from that, so yenuanum omunja padie war in Cranfoasa so. Apart from that, in Cranfona Kakra, so we are going to lose them. What I say, I mean, they are our neighbors, and they are ye way and Tokan ye Kokon and Kakra, but they are still Ghanaians. And say BBC Sasa in Sento Quesisua, they will have to relocate to Kumasi because apart from Accra, Kumasi is the next city. And I say Kumasi is the next developed city as compared to Accra. And I say Kumasi is the next developed city as compared to other regions in Ghana. What you are saying to a Ashanti region, which means say a distress beba Asante Asasine so with the Ashantis on it and say in Nipan it increase here. No, I mean it's not going to be a good environment. I say a good thing for Ghanaians. Now maybe Kasim be Sasa make me book din because as a crew what type of din Eddie video sir. Eya na ye type flag your video. But some more kaisa or man cronkro na Ghana for asofo. etimi kwa okofa esu abo esunsu beton ma omo asorema because say according to the Bible no e yoman konkron no sankofo na omote sa omani sisisi no so obehwe a omuni enkofo bi a omo no omukro no omo ye enkremofo na no omote so dada kro no ehase fipi ye nyina ye yate sa ntokontokwa asemi e wo so hu say sa oman konkronfo yi omo baaye no na P4 no nkremofo no etesa omane so dada but ene ede na ekwakosi time a ye yi sankofo ni free Germany omu concentration camp what you say ena ye be create sa oman konkron ma omu se omu nkotena so because they were displaced they didn't have their own country at the time nti no I mean America for omu English for ebete sa omane de ma omu enso omukoduru sa enkemofo mane so bi na omunkofo ni bi wo enkemofo mane so ne bi aka Germany ho ene bi so enkemofo ma omode ye ne montena sundwem ye ne montena sundwem sa na afi omus ye pesi esi schools ye pesi yanka si ne government ye pesi ye nyese ye pesi ye nyese ene ede na si entokwantokwa se ne enkemofo na no omote so no ye pamo omu because sankofo ne say sa nyankopon de hye omubo so omu na ntena so ene de na esi senka omopa ne nkenkomfo ne ka se debi ye mpemo munkopa baby fofo ntena enkenne enka yan displace enkemofo no so ati ase amo mankwa ankotena camps a omunya aduane kro omunya bindi nsuo kra omunya bindi apemfo owu ema ne memewu enkura ewu si ede sa example no kra to nchen ene hwe boko ede na esi we say me na me ba so first me na me tia assassin so ba na any central system of government and we ba us there be ye na ni ewuruli ye na chairman hini ni ahinsi nti say no ye na assassin ye there we want control over the land not the people na more people dem betimi atena so and dey na esi entokwa enyi chin ye nyina who is to say santokwa entimi san sorry brim one day in the future when population is growing that will be when population is growing so munkofo ni nya baby ntena so it is not why say any Ghanaian leader whether say through politics and as ahini ni ahinsi ebetimi atam asase kakraka matoma monfa nya de mope munsi mo ankasa mo community was it is not wise because there is nowhere except in Africa in this world that ubetimi akwakoto asase awose aden a me see me community me see me schools me see me way ebeye for only my people me part obi en ho beti asesa they'd rather you live among their citizens say ye de any to America even African Americans omu kura ntimi create omu community omu kura monti ase time as a guy we a friend is saying this hotel brother was say na a man worry abrofo me manadin na eche ne baba ya osi wontria school fees one hwe ne dana what was say woni ma mienu na anyem na nkemane brom hasan kombe wa na se be ma na oni mani kwa ncheso be wa or something like that sa bra 21 the fuka krake I forgotten se me kai din na me edit am de edin beto so what I say ono ye na adwen so oti school ebe serve only the black people in the community no or catch any say abrofo ne ban ho yeah say ombe ki say ombe or say abrofo ne ba ho ebe gusan say adentina or de yiba I say or the segregation ba wo part say school no e before nkwa na betimi akwa and a whole lot of stories and the school na kwa kuzi saying ontimi currency ebisi wa just Kennedy ontimi nsi just I mean he kro bi ani ho obema enkofuo bi a omu free sa kro so asase se mo amon create mu community e say bi a Ghana ha e bi Africa currency e say bi a Ghana ha na se hwe Ghana de bi a yesi dwen na on se hwe obi betu kwai bi asa wote bass mu ekọ efikuma se ekọ akra be hu asase bebre ase da ho yenye ne hwe nto bi a obeka se there is small land nti bi a wo hiri bi ti bebi ne so wo twa asase am obi abeye de ope wo so a on sheda nwene hu nka se on sheda nwene hu because one need to na asase de bebre ho but population is growing have you thought about that have you thought about population and Accra is choked because say yen decentralize Accra. Ya campaign near go one place, any other regions and other cities undeveloped. To be sure to come baby cranny say or Ghana and so bit mabo brady say about Kumasa and Aswa Accra. Majority of them, even Kumasi and Bokra, there are a whole lot of offices are. Okoya, they just say Okwa Accra. Accra, into a better say, okay, any other time hand down Accra. So what I say, Accra is choked. A few weeks ago now, say President Dekasi they are going to create a new city to decentralize Accra. Now I don't know, say city now or can there be a location and or can MSA say Igbo for na sa ne can be and Igbo for city no say a new city. Well, I don't really know. Now let's come back to what the Nigerian guy was doing on his live stream as all gaslighting and say, "Asemna yeti as yantini. I mean, there is no king in Igbo land. There is no me pacho bro from Okai, bro for yeni na yeti. Ebakwa na Ghana kranke bro for the chemo, but yamfa no chen. So and the thing the kind of things we suggest here now, I'm going to try to answer them. Me the video ne beto me the video ne ebe so we so in case o person who ankasa wutia no wati but the make idea I'm going to answer it offered here. One of the things about kusa e kan ye ne say Ghana ha you see Chinese man ohene inti ade na Igbofuo eso mo hina ye kasa. But who nim say akonya na ye bomba Chinese man yetimi bobi kra ma me so abena dwumedia woody development bante be ma enkoso hema na say bia abrante e be yo enkoso hene enkoso hene does not you can say he does not lay any claim over any land, no palace, nothing. Only DNA for development because it will be a great ideas and abibisa into say yes Chinese man enkoso hene. And they say who Igbo chief or whatever that you want to call yourself Eze. I mean they say Eze means king, but Nigeria for say it doesn't mean king. You have to change. So what I say, it's two different. And I'm a Ghanaian. I'm pro Ghanaian. I'm pro Ashanti. I'm pro everything African. Me they say the Chinese man is by me bufu pa. So what I say, but you have to change. And no Chinese man near you and yet equal. Apart from that, they were talking about Zongos. About the Zongos, we have to school them. What I say was here, sure, maybe I say. Me, I can only talk about the Zongos in Ashanti region. Mean to me, baby Zongo, the Hawa, Nkofono, and answer how was Zongofono, Ecosys, so I have no idea. But about Santimemu, I have a lot of ideas about how a shas here. Even with proof, say, this time range, and I say within this years, no, and Saudi and say by. We've done videos about it, but you see, a while back, some centuries ago, now there is a high demand of domestic workers for Ashanti region. And the time I was for no, it could be a modern day Burkina Faso, any other African countries, no war was wrong. Now, Omoko Chenkwa, Ebeton, more Salaga market, no. Omo ede enkwane march from Salaga hwa na asantifone shio mo kentampo ho no omato domestic workers domi enchefo no efiade yo any omo a na yeso omo soa so ejana ni those kind of you know na ya to omo na do ma ba Ashanti region ha say na oma ba be ye adwuma no and it got to a time the people needed a place to stay into no ye de to a chrono to no e hase e ma omo so omo ntena. And after that, there was a time now we needed soldiers, those kind of things. And go find a whole lot of history about that, yeah. And go find and that is how Zongos Nisha say it pop up in Ashanti region. So what I say, but other parts of Ghana, I have no idea. And now, winning baby say ye ba Ashanti mem say Zongo ye was Zongo leaders wo. Me come and point hine or hine be ba no she fruit and still yesinisu. And I say, I have funny banny abode, na me tea boko, intime pinch guys no mudin a chini be na me busa, boko hine. And I was saying, boko hine, so okay. And I actually walk at him so net dear or wostrum no, there be way and a representative. Into no say a fat kumase for na. So maybe a boko for no more or mono muhini, and now obeying a so, and no, it makes it very, very easy to deal with. It makes it very, very easy to deal with the people. Say, as one leader, I mean, in all zongos, me sure so because no be a one and making it very, very, very much easy to deal with the people. Because nothing about if there is anything policy and I said nothing about if my catch you. Into a Chinese say, you know, me is not going to stand. The zongos are also not going to stand because having a representative is different from creating your own kingdom on somebody's land. Whilst there is other kingdoms around and actually chiefs around. So, yeah. Also, the thing is, if you have Ghana's best interest at heart, almost some it doesn't really stand. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Maybe I don't want system be as no make that kind of argument, no. But when I was starting this video, I said it makes sense. That is, if you are a Nigerian and have Nigerians at heart, next be up and say Igbo king ebetnawa ubiasa so dear. Then it will make sense. But if you are Ghana's best interest, it doesn't really make sense. The next argument was like, Nasa Ghana Fosu, Etukwa, you were Santa for you were a Fanta for you were Gafor, you yes. All those people, no, they don't lay claim over any land. So, I hear say be or lanes to mention, be a through mention you choosing the person, say be away this year, into only the leader and Pokrana. They don't lay any claim over the land. It is only the people, and it is good say oh baby and as a munya mutu kwan kwhye baby mo be you obi say we ye leader into onu na be kan ya ase mama ye on attend bia and say ye police be kwa kwodine mama ye. It makes sense, but to create your own kingdom is another level. So what you are saying to all their accusations and also all their claims no me sure say be broma me refer say me dey be kan video we hu intermediate video na it was now I wash neja what getting informed. All the accusation, it doesn't really make sense. What do you say? It doesn't hold water. Into no yenfa and no enyasem. But one question, and will be busay me depa me pesa me nemo share. Obi busani say, okay, into say mupa. You say there is no king in Igbo land, whatever. You say more creating more community no. Nessa me ye Ghanaian. Nessa me ni Igbo ni binya kasakasa na say Igbo ni biye madia. Ubepese mekwa kwakache mo hene na say ubepese minyeden was it was say ukokache the leader no will know how to handle it me part of derby. It was so tears na who say Ghana is a country and Ghana has its own laws. Sure, Ghana is a country with its own laws. What you say a govern this country. Yet Ghana say obiya wadia commit a crime whatever. Yen found kwa him few. Yen found kwa him few. You go police station. That is what you're supposed to do. Say obiya wadia, just go to the police station, make a case. The police will do their investigation and they'll take it from there. Eye assassin ehunsem mato assassin wato amawe where I say any de kwa him few. So what I say. And that is why it is very, very wrong. So I hear be better say. No trust has say monfa me twama monfa na monfa nye de mope because show say bibi pass as so na say so onu obi Ghana ni asase boshia na say litigation ba what what do you think they are going to do? Ye fa nko omu Igbo king ho no nko ka bi ma Igbo ni no te say de na ifo me fa no 20 boko for ko for na no muso mote wakaka no ngo for na no muso mote wadada na no muni central yi no aha ni say time na ifo no edu omuso no say ono ne frafra ni nya asema na yakebia ma ono no because what na ni hene etiso. No, we cannot entertain that. We are not going to do that. Ghana has to be our dear. We go to the police station and teacher if they create their own hospital, their own schools, one day in the future, they want to create their own system of government and they want to create their own security force, their own police force. So when in the asema, you know the police, any bedi asema. Now, wo Ghana ni ana wote asase so that we are sure say, si efa wo Igbo ni, nefa wo Ghana ni. Igbo phone, umbeka bia ma Igbo ni no. So ati ati se me ma brenya nkonto ne ebe fa me ko gina ho a. Na ye Ghana ni a nka meka bia ma because me kurom ni no. Me kurom ni ntimi enye wabro. Eno ntino ni kwanse yeso yetena ho so obi emete onu ankasa ni kuro ketwa. Ewo yen asase so me pa cho. any kwan say etna ma na yes ada ene e was say youth no e was say nyina yes so here we asantini we infantini we enkrani we dey it doesn't really matter it was say nyina so because if anything happens omu a omote sasase so already the originators and cranfo ne angrafo no mote ho no they are equally Ghanaians into say enkrani e sorry fan the back so betana sanche regional untimi mpamo no so onko they are equally Ghanaians and internet say yempese ye kro ketwa na yesiesi yempese be choked na was say ye nyina ye dwen ye daach we dwen the population that is going to grow eni kwan say ye tenase na ye nhwe ha mankofo eto mu man e we yasase so no me pacho intimi nyesa emiendi politicians echi endi ahemfofo echi because omo no ma planning for mama dada omo no they don't really care about us they don't and eni kwan so say ye tena ho yet memufo tena ye nhwe ha because one day in the future no their children are going to grow and they are going to lay claim over the land say oh omo forefathers yati be that forefathers forefathers in the better asase we no motena so into the land belongs to them and omo ne ye ba be pray for the seat of the government even ye kuro keto assemblyman we MC DC whatever MP ne omo ne ye ba be pray na omo ne ye pray me no me nka say anase me fie monga enka say no be but their people's interest will be their aim. Men per se video be tinti me from anusia. Ade ne say hey obi adwene ho every civilization, every tribe, every country, every people. Obi a adwene that wono Igbo king or adwene ono no edachi. Ne nkofo edachi the future for his people. And into a person was settle Ghana. Once Ghana is very peaceful, Ghana has some lands umbetimi lay claim over. And into no ne Dutch, ne call for Dutch on ordinance. Also, there Ghana ye equally. We have to think about our future and the population growth. And apart from that, the peace that we are enjoying. Nigeria is not a peaceful country as compared to Ghana. And I'll say it again. Nigeria is not a peaceful country as compared to Ghana. Nigerians are not as peaceful as Ghanaians are. What I say, everywhere in the world that Nigerians go, they create chaos. And I'm American. There be a more countries say they abandon or move from getting into other countries. Into a year then now, what's not se cast any sadia brame massa so any pabibini. A year then, Madam I'll say something later about Africa let's unite, Africa let's unite. Me patro yes. Africa we will unite, but not this way. Not by penetrating and claiming lands and creating your own community. That is no unity. And fact, to say Africans we lived in tribes. Hey, we conquer, we know we are conquer. We are baby sanity. And I could see Bruni Transacas de Mamma Munyana Munye Mukrubako, and internamente wants to be Brina Edos because ye aunts Nasi and Planesi be Krubako. But see, pursue unity, a young say bet me at nearly foundation, nearly boundaries. Young say bet me I come to our own terms, near unity, but not this way. I had a medium busy. Marian Fiso best subscribe to my channel no. Now, what like it, no what share. O share algorithm be who say video ye video ni asasimu mon share say video na afoforo ehu no mon tie message yase no won say enye time e na ye ka there be enye ye time obi a obi e protecting there obi e prede there into eno so na me so me ye ntine. Guys, please don't forget to like, comment and share this video to others. See you next time.
King, he said he is a chief because in Igbo culture we do not have no king, we have chiefs and elders, and he said he is a chief. He's a chief. That is what he said. So it's not. Yeah. So okay. You have to clarify that.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, yeah. You see, this is a good conversation, and there's no any insult or downgrading or something. Yeah. But my advice to Ghanaian people is that if the guy was trying to create his own kingdom, they have to rise up and they have to say no, you can't create your kingdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And this is what I've been trying to explain to people, right? It's not saying he wants to create a kingdom. In his word, he used village and then he used town, right? He did not say nothing about no kingdom, and he did not say he's a king. He said he is the chief of Igbo people in Ghana. And even at that, if the Ghanaian people do not like that, 100%, we can talk about that. But at the end of the day, I do not personally see it as something that is entirely wrong. If someone is just trying to promote his culture in the diaspora, whereby his kids will not be, on a normal ground, they will not be exposed to their culture back home. So if he wants to create a community whereby people can share their culture, it is something that I would say, okay, you can go ahead and do it. And if
And can I add to that, please? Can I add to that?
I think it's my turn.
I really like to say something.
Yeah, hold on. Ori Adeomoba, let Ace speak. Then we're gonna have I'm gonna give Ace 2 minutes, then OJ 1 minute because I think he wants to speak because he keep
Oh, I'm next though.
Quickly,
KJ's
after Ace
next.
then, please,
So-
because I have to go somewhere.
So, let me add to what you just said.
Yeah, I'll give you
So-
2 minutes, Ace.
All right, thank you. You just made a valid point, and in addition to that, you can see that the Igbo people, they don't have anybody representing them in Ghana. They just have themselves as individuals, you know. So if the young man that is a chief wants to create something, I think it's a better avenue where if there's any kind of like crisis or anything that is going wrong within the Igbo people, just like a brother came up here talking about they know what the Igbo people are doing up there in Ghana. So this is a better way to even set up maybe like an Igbo village or town where you can hold this person responsible, you can meet this person, this chief, to talk about his people. If they're doing anything wrong, I don't think it's a bad idea, because if you come into Nigeria now and you want to speak about Igbo people, the first people that you go to, just like the brother came up, he said he's from Ewe. If you're going to speak about any Ewe person in Nigeria, you go to the Oba or to any of the Yoruba person, because they're connected to a Yoruba tribe. So once it comes to Ghana, who is representing the Igbo? They're just individual people. They don't have kings. They have chiefs. So we don't have any of that. So it's a good development that they can set up something like that within that space and be able to control the Igbo people that are living inside of Ghana. If they have any problem, then they can go to them. I think it's a good development. But again, the Igbo people, Ndibo, it's time to just always look back home. Most of all the stuff that is going on, it's time to always just still home. Just look back home. Enough of all this going around trying to do all this stuff. It's just time to just face home and leave all these things alone. Thank you.
Right, OJ, I'll give you 1 minute. Then we go to Nico, sir. I'll go ahead, OJ.
Oh, you can just pass on, because at this point I'm tired. You said it so a million times. This guy is not creating no kingdom. He says it's community. People still are stuck with the word kingdom. Half of the people that are saying, they haven't even taken the time to even listen to what this guy said. So just go on, let people believe what they want to believe. So you cannot convince them, or you cannot convince everyone, or tell them what it is. They made up their minds. So it is what it is.
Right. People in the comment section, please tap your screen. Let's get the likes to 15K. We've been stuck in for a while, so yeah, please tap your screen, get the likes up.
Can I come up now?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Can I just?
Okay. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are doing a very great job, and I just want to say a few things. But before I really get straight to the point, what I want to say is I hear some people saying Ewe Yoruba. I want to make clarity to that. My mom is a Votarian. My mom is from Ghana, Votarian, and my dad is from Nigeria, a Wari man. Ewe and Yoruba are never the same. They are two different tribes. That is what I want to clarify, because I see some people writing in the comments and show they are not related. My mother is from one part, my dad is from the other part. So that is by the way. So I think what is really happening when it comes to the Igbo brothers is that the Igbos, wherever they go, they like to coordinate themselves. They like to hold, they like to keep that unity anywhere they go. So what they are trying to say is not just like the admin said, they are not creating a kingdom or whatever, or creating whatever in any way. They are just trying to coordinate themselves in case if anything comes up, they'll be able to reach out to themselves in unity. That is what they are trying to do. Then what I would say in the Ghanaian side is this. There is one adage we used to say in the Yoruba land. They say, "Bashen shen lewa, iwo bomi." The way we do in our home, it's a taboo somewhere else. Okay? So if an Igbo man or a Yoruba man or anybody from any part of Africa comes to your land and they want to carry out some kind of exercises that they are fond of doing where they come from, if it doesn't align with you guys, say no. Stop it immediately, because a lot of time I have seen it work in some homes where people come to your territory, they try to create something like this, and before you know, it turns to something else, and it start creating some kind of conflict. So if in a Kumasi or any part of Ghana that this kind of exercise or this kind of thing doesn't work in their own area, please just stop it. There's no fight in it. It's a very clear agreement. But what I know is that Igbo people will always make you know that this is what we are coming up with. This is what we want to do. And if it doesn't go well with you, you have to tell them there are so many ways they can still unite and coordinate themselves, which they know better. So that's just what I want to contribute. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you for your contribution, Ori Ade Omoba, and I just want to, clarify something here. You said you're a Yoruba man, and I also want you to know that there's a Yoruba chief in Ghana. You know that, right?
I'm aware. It's just an extension. I've lived in Ghana for a very long time. In fact,
Right,
I school in Ghana and before I
right,
come back to
right.
Nigeria.
And this Yoruba chiefs, they also appointed about 5 sub chiefs. You know that, right?
I know all these things. I even have a friend that is
Just 1 minute. And also, this Yoruba king also have in a way a palace. Do you know that?
just like I said, if they don't like it, they're gonna
Right.
tell you they don't like it.
Right. No. So this is what I'm saying, right? On this thing, when it comes to like people in the diaspora forming a community or having a religious leader or traditional leader, this is not something that is peculiar to the Igbo people, right?
Like, yes, it's
Right.
just to unite and to be in unity. That's just
Right.
it.
Right. And one, yeah. So that is what I'm saying. But anyways, we're gonna have other people contribute. Yeah, go ahead, Nico, sir. I don't even know if that's how to pronounce
Hi,
the
can
name.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, okay. I'm just gonna chip in my 2 piece. I'm sure people disagree, other people might agree, but in the end, we're just here to have an intellectual conversation. So, from the man's interview, what I watched and what I heard him say was he was going to, he bought, is it 250 acres of land, and he was going to create like a big palace and is a community center that will host about host about 2,000 people if there's an event, and they're going to build an Igbo school. There will be lands where people can come and buy lands if they want. There will be also like 6-story buildings where people can rent out flats and stuff, and there'll also be places for Igbo diplomats, I think politicians, in case they come to Ghana and they can lodge there. And with like, I think looking at the picture of all this, you can see why people can find that controversial, because it's kind of like creating a distinct community in a sovereign land. And one thing about, I study migration, and one thing about issues with migration is when there's no assimilation between the people, the host people, and the people migrating to the country, there's always going to be tension, or in future, there's a possibility for tension. So the fact that maybe he's not really creating like a community where maybe the Igbos can blend in with the Ghanaian people, but it's like a kind of distinct community where maybe even when Igbos want to relocate to Ghana, they can go and live in that part, which is kind of like an Igbo land. That's going to be a bit controversial, because at the end of the day, if say more people start moving and the land starts expanding, like people start expanding, means more lands need to be acquired, and that could create more tension, because then people start thinking, the people or the inhabitants of Accra will start thinking, why are they taking our land and giving it to the Igbo people? So if we might not see the repercussions now, in future there's a possibility where the repercussions might occur. I do understand that the well-being of the Igbo people is the reason why they're creating this, but they could always create, somebody made a point about them creating like a center. They can create a center, like a big center where maybe they display Igbo stuff. Then maybe this chief could be like a president of the organization that maybe all Igbos in Ghana can subscribe to. Then his office will be in this center. So if anything, if people have issues whilst living amongst the Ghanaian people, they know they can go to that center and report anything. I still feel like the Nigerian embassy could play that role, but some people might feel more comfortable reporting to their Igbo people than maybe the Nigerian embassy. So maybe that center with an office would have been a good idea, because at the end of the day, just remember, Africa is a very tribalistic continent.
Good job, Nico.
Yeah, Africa is a very tribalistic continent. You coming into a country where, in as much as we want to ignore the fact that we're not tribalistic, it's deep down there, like, and I have to give Ghana the kudos that we are going far. We're actually progressing. It's still there, but we are still seeing ourselves as Ghanaians. But that tribalistic element is still there. So you coming into a country where tribalism still runs deep, or is still in the core of the country, they're going to see as a threat. Another tribe coming in and coming to like threaten what we have. So at the end of the day, what Ori said, if maybe the president of Ghana and our leaders need to listen to the people and what they want, because if they are going to think about what will benefit their pockets, especially those selling the lands, then they're not putting the needs of the Ghanaian people before their own mindset. And it will not just affect our people now, but it might have repercussions in the future. So they should be very cautious of any decision they're taking now regarding this situation. That's what I can say.
I think she made a great point. And but this is where I'm coming from, right? I do understand. Like I said, I do understand why Ghanaians are, mad about this thing. But at the end of the day, anybody can see anything, right? I understand why they're mad, but in a way, I do not understand the outrage, right? Because anybody can see anything. I can go tomorrow right now and then say I want to build like I always said, a Wakanda village in Ghana. So does that mean I'm gonna do it? So if tomorrow I just move to Ghana and then 20 years later I'm like, oh, I want to build a Wakanda village in Ghana, a Ghanaian is gonna actually like believe me and then start getting so agitated over words. It's not gonna happen. Anybody can say anything. And I saw the interview and I can clearly see that the man imagination was running wild. Right? The man imagination, it was running wild. It's not gonna happen. I mean, Igbo people are not gonna come to Ghana and then they want to build a community that's only for you. It's not. It's not even in Nigeria. How is it gonna be in Ghana? So in a way, the man imagination was just running wild, and there's absolutely no reason for Ghanaians to just take it as serious and then just start getting so mad over it. Whereby some of them were drumming like they were literally saying they wanted to go and then deal with the mess themselves, as if this man started building the village, and anybody can say anything. And that is just where I'm coming from. Let's not take because of one person and then want to generalize the whole of the tribe, or because then want to take him serious. It's not gonna happen. We have Igbo community. And the thing that I heard him said was that he was gonna build Igbo community. If he said that he said all of these things, I 100% agree with you. But at the end of the day, imagination just running wild. So I don't really want us to just focus on that, because at the end of the day, he's not gonna do that. It does not even have the power or the authority to do that. And I'm pretty sure if that was in a way illegal, the Ghanaian authority would have, they would have responded. So let's not try to blow this out of proportion. At the end of the day, it's just one man talking.
That is right. It's my turn. Can I talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say, I'm here. I'm in the military. I love Igbos. I love Yorubas. Some of them are my roommates right now as I'm talking to you. Next door to me. I love them very well. But we should also consider, like whatever Nicole said, I was about to say similar thing to it. Like we have Nigerian embassy in Ghana. You did mention there is a Yoruba chief in Ghana, but the Yoruba chief hasn't developed a community for the Yorubas. That's the same way we had this Igbo chief in Ghana since, I think he was installed since 2012 or 2015. But he just recently mentioned about this community and other stuff. But all I can say is some words are very expensive. Some words are very expensive. Whatever that comes out from your mouth, you should be able to back it up. That is what caused this film between Ghanaians and Nigerians. But for me, I don't see no harm in developing a community, but it has to be done through the Nigerian immigration system in Ghana. The ambassador needs to be aware of it. And even the Ghanaian president has to be aware of this chief. You can't just say, oh, because I'm the chief, I'll just create a community and I'll start building. All the lands are in the hands of Land Commission in Ghana. It has to be processed over there before it can even be issued. You don't even know the land you are going to purchase has already been purchased by someone. These chiefs they are good in selling people's land. They can sell the land for you like 20 times to different people. So it has to go through Land Commission before we even know whom the land belongs to. We can't just depend on our chiefs. For the community, I agree with it. He can do whatever he wants to do, but to build or to establish, he should make sure he's establishing it in the name of Ghana, but he's using the Yoruba's name for it. Like we have schools in Ghana, which DPS is established by Indians, right? We have Indian community in Ghana, but DPS, even the Ashanti King's sons goes to that school. We have GIS. We have Abelenke community school, which is we have Galaxy International. We have a lot of schools made by like this international people, not Ghanaians, but it's for everybody. So if you come and say, oh, I'm about to establish a school for only Igbos, it's kind of confusing. It should be for everybody, not for only Igbos. Yorubas should be able to go to the school as well. They should be able to attend the school as well, not only Igbos.
Right.
That's why maybe he should restructure his sentence. Then the Ghanaian community will be able to accept it. But the way he spoke, it was out of context.
Right. Thank you, Jay, for your submission. And I do agree with you. But I do agree with you. But let's have other people contribute. I don't want to be.
Can I say something to Jay real quick?
I've been quiet.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I've been
Yeah, I have to
Just
ask you a question.
Just 1 minute. Let's use that talk first. It came here first.
Yeah,
Well,
Nigerians.
let's get to just 1 minute, user. Let's get to 15K, guys. Let's get to 15K. Tap your screen. Let's get to 15K. Yeah, go ahead, user.
Yeah, Nigerians, you've been our brothers. We want to enjoy our debate on either Ghana Jollof or Nigeria Jollof is the best. We want to enjoy arguing with you on football, our songs and everything. But when you are biting, you cannot chew. Because let me tell you, Ghanaians don't joke with our chieftaincy issues. It's the backbone of that country. And every chief in Ghana predate, let me use simple words, started from colonial era. So in Ghana, when we say somebody is a chief, it means their father was the first person who fought for that land. And people even died. People can lose their blood for chief issues. Okay? So when you go to even a small village and there's a small house for 3 people, they tell you this is the chief. Don't think that because he has money or power, that's why he's the chief. 50 acres of land is not me. I own 100 acres in Ghana. When I go to that chief, I bow. If I buy 100 acres of land, that doesn't mean that I'm a bolo and I'll go and call myself a king. Okay? So we are very lovely people. Buying the land is no problem. You can do Nigerians are not the first person to buy land in Ghana. Why would your 50-acre land be a national issue? Because what you are doing is not in line with our constitution. If you give me time, I will explain. So, one, this is how chiefs are recognized. If you dare to push yourself to be a chief, in Ghana, it is considered a treason. Now, this guy is not even calling himself a chief. So sometimes when the people or the elders of the land nominate you and agree and adopt you as maybe a leader, they have names. People who are from Anfie, from the palace can give you names of those people. Some of them are Mantiahene. That means a king that has been adopted for the youth. So they will not give you a king name. They can give you a very nice name for you to be adopted into the Ghanaian chieftaincy system, so that you can be a leader for your Igbo people. In Ghana, the constitution mandate who is called a king. So constitutionally, you cannot just enter Ghana and say you are a king. If that man is sued right now, you'll be jailed or deported.
I stand to correct you.
No,
Right?
hold on, let me
He's
finish.
a chief. He was installed 2015. Go check it out. I'm a Ghanaian. He was installed
that's what I'm saying.
2015.
There have been many chieftaincy issues that go to court, and some of them are. A chief is gazetted. In Ghana, every chief is gazetted by the court.
Yeah, but he's not a chief of Ghana, though. He's a chief of Igbo
No,
people. Like, you don't get it.
Constitutionally, it's not recognized. That's what I'm telling you.
No, you don't understand
So
it.
is it under Ghana? Was it the Ghana community?
I am telling you what happens.
He's just living in the Ghana community.
Then let
He
me
can
finish
live
talking, and then you can
in
say what you
Ewe
want
and
to
still
do.
be
I have
Igbo
a
chief.
question.
You guys don't
I have a
understand
question
it.
for Usher. Usher, I have a question for you.
No, let me finish, then you understand. Yeah, if I haven't finished talking.
Why you close my camera, MS? You don't get it.
So if you want to be in Ghana, understand the system, then you know how to cut your coat and fit in, and it will be peaceful for all of us. We love you, Nigerians. Me, my wife is half Nigerian here in the US. Okay.
Usher.
So
I don't care.
Usher, I have a question for you, please. Usher, can I ask you a question?
you see, you don't want the truth. I'm telling you the truth. I don't understand.
Usher, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, ask me, bro.
Hold on. User, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to round up, then you're gonna receive questions.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that in Ghana, the title Ken is not a street name. Even chiefs are gazetted. Okay, and I'm telling you the procedure that the court used to gazette chiefs is what I'm telling you. Chiefs are not something you can buy in a store. It's a bloodline from tracing from pre-corona era. It is me. I am a king. I come from a kinship family. Okay, even that the queen mothers and the elders choose who want to be a chief from that family. So we have a specific family that will be king to end come. If you are not from that land, you will never be a king or chief before you die. So you cannot just enter and even call yourself a chief. It's treason. Those people will come on you.
No, Usher, you are lying. He's not a king of any Ghanaian community. He's
That's
a king
what
of
I'm saying.
Igbo. He's a chief
Hold
of
on,
Igbo.
hold
Do you
on.
tell me, like,
Yeah, let him
a chief?
let him finish.
So are you trying to tell me the
and
chief
chiefs
in
are not titled in
UK?
the street? A chief has a territory, has a jurisdiction. Okay, you cannot come into my jurisdiction or my
So
house.
you're trying to tell me the chief in UK has a territory in
Finish,
UK?
KJ.
What are you saying?
No,
You have
Opa
to-
said,
I'm
Asante
telling you
Niwo,
what happens in Ghana.
UK.
You are not a
territory
Ghanaian,
UK.
bro. You are not a Ghanaian.
Maybe so. Me country I be ni. Then I'll batch.
We are me
Me country.
and you don't let us divert. We are doing this for the sake of our Nigerian brothers.
History is harder than mine. My chief's bad, but history is worse.
This guy doesn't want me to talk.
Hold on now. Can we let Jesus? This guy was talking. I gave him minutes now. Let the guy finish. So then you guys can ask him
It's not fair
questions.
to me. So that's what I'm saying. Host, you have to add some time because he didn't allow me to talk. So
I'm gonna listen to you again for like a minute.
So when it comes to the word title, a king in Ghana, kinship are tied to land. Okay, they are tied to land, and those land. So if I buy a land from a king, I'm a subject to that king. Not because I bought a land, I become a king on that land. I am still a subject on that land. To that, even if I sell all my lands as a chief, all the people who are on my land are subject to me.
This guy's confused, man.
I'm not confused. I'm telling you, Ghana style.
Find somebody else to talk, please. Just
So
shut up.
okay, continue. That's where this thing is going to escalate. Go. We are not going to allow.
Hold on. Let's not try.
Can we ask questions?
This is
Yeah,
street in Ghana.
hold on. 1 minute. User, see.
Ghana, you
User.
have a
Hold
title.
on now.
User.
Guys, 1 minute.
Come on, you on done and
Hold on, 1 minute. Yeah, calm down. See, at the end of the day, we're just trying to resolve all of this thing. Let's not threaten ourselves. Like I said earlier, we're all Africans.
no, it's not a threat. I'm telling you the truth.
And Jesus Christ, what do you have to interrupt me? By the way, we're gonna have. You guys wanna ask him a question, so we're gonna go with this. Then we're gonna go with KJ. Go ahead on this.
All right, thank you. User, you mentioned something about the royal family, and you're from the royal bloodline. So you're speaking to one person now too, from Igbo and from a royal home, and you can Google.
About Ghana.
Hold
This issue is
on,
in Ghana.
just listen.
I don't want to hear about Igbo issue.
Listen.
You let him finish the question, then you yeah.
Sister Martin.
You just said something about, again, you need to listen when people are talking. You're a man. And if you're from a royal home, you listen more.
This guy's confused.
The brother that went to Ghana to acquire a property in Ghana said he's a chief, right?
What's the meaning of Eze?
Eze is a title.
What's the meaning of Eze?
Listen carefully. I'm talking again. You need to listen rather than arguing. Eze is a title.
What's the
Even
meaning? What's the meaning of that? Every title has a meaning now. So what's the meaning of it?
Hold on. Listen,
Eze is a
let
chief.
him respond to
Chief
you now.
is Eze. Chief is Eze.
Use
So
AI. Eze means a king. I just use
there
AI.
is no
Eze
king in
means
Igbo land. You need to
king of the
understand. I'm
Igbo
telling
people.
you. There is no such word as king
That's
in
not.
Igbo land.
Right.
Igbo does not have king. There's no such word as king. It doesn't exist. It's chief.
You guys are trying to decorate a monkey and tell us that's a human being. When that guy was talking, are we damn? Was he not saying he's a king?
Eze is a
On national
title.
television.
Eze is a title. It's not a king. There's no king. There is no king in Igbo land. There's no one person that can call himself the king of Igbo. Eze Igbo. There is no such person as that. It's a title.
Okay.
He's a chief.
Maybe because we are talking, he's going to change. That will be fair.
No,
That he's
no,
going to change.
no,
We're all here.
Like you were not here, but this is the thing, right? You said you just asked Google, and what I'm gonna tell you is that Eze is like a okay. So Eze to Igbo people means leader, right? It was the colonial masters that corrupted the Eze title to mean king. But till this day in Igbo land, Eze means leader, chief, or
The man
king.
said he's a king in Ghana, and you are trying to. That's why I'm
Just 1 minute now. Do you just come here to argue? Let us explain things to you, right? We're just trying to explain.
explain this to me. You are on my land.
What do you mean? I don't want to
You are on my land. I have to explain to
You
you.
let him make his point so
No,
that
no.
it's clear why.
So Nigerian thinks we are
Let
weak.
him
You
let
are on my
him
land.
finish
I
his
have to
point
explain my
because it's
logic.
a
Come on,
argumentative.
land.
So let him
Which your
finish.
land?
Don't worry.
Okay,
Let him
can
I talk now?
Let the host speak. Everyone, please, I beg.
What do you mean I'm on your land? So because I'm on your land like this, we have to fight over something that would be resolved if you just listen to me and if I listen to you. Should we fight? You said you came up on the panel. You said you love Nigerians. We love you too. I love you. I love Ghanaians. So should we now? If you love Nigerians, then you will try to listen to.
Because you
Not
are
try to
biting
say
what
we
you're
love
supposed not to bite. If it's jollof, we'll laugh.
Right, and this is exactly what we try to do.
That man trying to talk about jollof, man. Don't talk about food.
Can I talk now?
Hold on,
Don't talk about food.
I'm gonna play this video again. Just you guys just try to mute.
Can I
I
talk
think it's
now?
my turn.
No.
It's
Well,
my turn to
just 1
speak.
minute. Hold on,
Hold on,
I'm gonna
please.
play a video. Right, I'm gonna play a video.
Okay.
No, video. I'm gonna play a voice. Well, it's a video literally, but now.
Hemes,
Yeah, I'm gonna play the video again now because.
let me give you this advice real quick before you see. In this world, right, there are some people you should refrain and run away from all the time. You know, like when Jesus Christ, if you read the Bible, when Jesus Christ came on this earth, he healed the sick, he healed the blind, but he did not heal foolishness. When someone is foolish, run away from them. Don't even waste your time because this guy is foolish. Leave him alone.
Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do, right? At the end of the day, Ghanaians are entitled to their own opinion. We cannot police how they feel about this thing. The only thing we can do is try to soften the blow, right? Like try to explain to them. Maybe they can see things from a different angle, or maybe in a way calm down a wee bit. You understand? At the end of the day, all of this is just to make Ghanaian people calm down, right? Because a lot of this thing can come from misinformation, and some people do not like to listen to other people. But at least they're gonna listen to the information, whatever they choose to do with the information. That is their own cup of tea. But at the end of the day, everybody knows that as Igbo people, we're doing something to make sure that Ghanaian people understand our angle or where we're coming from. So I'm gonna play the video again to user, so you can listen to the video.
That they said you've been driving Ghana people for you to be inducted as Igbo chief here in Ghana. So we want to know the truth. Can you tell us what is going on?
Good afternoon. By the special grace of God, I'm the chief of Igbo community in Ghana. Is it Igbo Ghana?
Okay, so that is the video. They interviewed him and then they asked him a question and they said, "Who exactly are you?" And he said, "By the special grace of God, quote unquote, I am the chief of Igbo community here in Ghana, SND Igbo Ghana." So that is what he said. And this is a video. This is a recent video, to clarify his stance, right? So this man, even if he's a king in Ghana, is the king of Igbo people, right? Is of Igbo people. If you want to say the king, that's fine. He's still a king of Igbo people. He's not entitled to any land, to any region, to any to anything. He's not tied to the land. He's the king of his community, king of his people, right? He himself is still tied by the land of the laws of the land, right? If the region, I don't really understand the region, but if it's been the king of the region is the Ga king, he is still under the leadership of the Ga king, right? But he can also be the king of his own, his own community, his own tribe in Ghana. That is just what it is. So, but he himself clarified that he's chief of Igbo people here in Ghana. So why are we still going with the king thing? I'm gonna end the show time now.
I have something to
Can
say,
I
host.
speak?
No,
sorry, you've been
Let me finish it, all right. So why is it that the Yorubas have chief and Ghanaians are not complaining about it and they are
I
complaining
will answer
about
you. I will answer you that.
the
I will answer
Igbo
you
ones?
that real quick.
Because
Okay, let me-
I did mention, let me talk, right?
Let me-
Me, I speak different dialects in
But you
Ghana.
just
I
ask the
speak,
question. Let them answer.
You don't ask the question. Make I answer you now.
Okay, answer.
Hold on,
Now, wow.
hold on, just 1 minute, Cash. Just 1 minute. Okay, do you want to make a statement or you want to ask a question?
yes, I want to make a statement. I want to make a statement.
Please,
as well.
let the person go ahead.
First of all, my last name is from the Eastern region, right? My mom is an Ewe and Guan. I speak Tree, I speak Ewe, I speak Guan, I speak Latte, I speak Nkonya, I speak Rara, I speak Bowli. So we have chiefs in the United States. Let me use as an Ewe chief in the United States, right? We have an Ewe chief in the United States. How they permitted us to have our chiefs here, right? That is the same way. We don't, if something happened, we don't run to the chief. But anything that we do that involves like a culture, we go to the place, we have a debar, and we conduct it, right? So it's allowed. But if a user is telling me it needs to be gazetted, it needs to, I don't, he said he's a chief for the Igbos. He didn't say he's a chief in Ghana. He said for the Igbos. You know, he said for the Igbos. Like, what don't you guys don't
But you
understand?
see, that's the thing. I'm sure
I'm also
the
in the
ever one
US,
you said,
okay?
they still went through a
Hold on a
process
second.
for the Americans to give them.
I'm also
Yeah.
I also
Okay,
host. Can I say
yeah.
something, please? Hold on. So I know the tradition in the US and in the UK. Here in the US, there are no kings here. So if you were a king, nobody even recognizes it. It doesn't go anywhere. In the structure of the electoral system.
So what?
The
Okay,
electoral
so
system
it
has
doesn't
absolutely
go
like
anywhere. It doesn't
But in
go
the
anywhere.
Ghanaian community, chiefs are the fundamental system of our leadership system. And I've told you that somebody being called a chief is laid down back.
Where are you in the United States?
Hold
Where are
on.
you in the United States?
I'm in Texas.
What part of Texas?
What part of Texas?
I'm in Dallas.
Dallas.
If you want me to
I'm in
I can show you
I'm in
right now.
You know, there used to be a chief that was appointed by Asante.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's why he's saying that. You see, the American culture does not deal on chief and
Visa, you don't know.
Nobody
Like,
cares.
It was done by the Asante people. So
you see?
Yes. OJ, can I quickly
OJ,
clear this? I think what
OJ,
user
you
is
keep
trying
talking
to.
about Osha, you keep talking
what
about
about
Osha.
what about the Chinese?
Just one second. I think what user
User,
clearly.
Let me address
User,
Osha.
what about
You
the
keep talking
Chinese
about Osha.
Just a
this guy
Osha, this Osha controversy. You keep talking about.
1 minute. Well, you know this is what I'm gonna let the new people speak. I'm gonna let Cash go and then Palace.
Nobody answered my question though. Why is it
Hear me.
nobody chief in Ghana and they're not allowing Igbo chief in Ghana? I don't
Hear
understand.
me.
Can someone explain?
Sorry, I
answer
think
your
Cash was
question.
asking
Hold
a
on,
question.
Premise.
Yes,
You're asking me a
I'm gonna
question.
answer your question.
Can I
Answer
quickly-
to talk.
Guys,
Can I quick-
make una calm down. You
Can you
already
guys
Osha, what's your family name? Let's Google it now. You always keep.
let people let the new people contribute and then we can. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna give you time. Give you guys a short time, 2 minutes ish. But before we go, I'm gonna say, Gallica, I think I understand where you're coming from, but you know the United States Constitution does not deal with king and queens. But regardless, the Ghana people have their own king. What about in Europe? What about in the UK? Right? There's literally a monarchy in the UK, right? But the Ghanaian people still have their own king and still have their own chief. In fact, I think in 2013, a Ghanaian chief was appointed by the king of Ghana to preside over the affairs of the Ghanaian people in the UK. But these people also have their own, monarchy. But then you have a Ghanaian chief, right? You have a Ghanaian chief there. So at the end of the day, it depends on how open-minded we are to see things from different angle. If Ghanaian people do not want that, that is completely fine. But this is not something that is just peculiar. This is something that happens all over the world. That even in Ghana, even Ghanaians do it in other countries. Maybe not in African country, but in other countries, you do it, right? We can acknowledge that, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, you guys don't want it. That is okay. So OJ, I'm gonna bring you back. But anyways, let's
Okay.
do
This is see, this guy does not represent the whole of Nigeria. He only represents his tribe, which is the Igbo people. Okay, so the Igbo people in Ghana have all come together and say, okay, we've elected this guy to be our leader, this guy to be our chief. It's just like a bunch of drivers, and they say we have a chief driver. Okay, so he is the one that's going to stand in our face as a tribe, right? And that's all he's saying. If you
I'm gonna bring
No,
OJ back.
man.
But you do have the question.
No, come on, man. You can't give me 2 minutes and give these people a whole lot of time. And I need to answer user. First of all, there's a Chinese chief in Ghana. I don't want to put a picture up, bro. A lot of you are carrying him on your head from his workplace to his palace. So KJ, I'll answer your question real quick. The Yorubas in Ghana, they don't have that financial power to build a community. First of all, this man, he built a school for Ghana, for Ghanaian people, this so-called king. And he want to build a school for his Igbo people, it becomes a problem. You should have rejected the one he built for the Ghana people, and it makes sense. And the thing is that the Igbo kids who are born in Ghana, those schools are going to help them to bring them back to that culture. That is how the Igbos operate. First of all, if you're talking about building community, not everybody build a community. You must have a financial power before you can be able to embark on that, which the Igbos have. The Yorubas in Ghana do not have that. So that's one thing you need to know. If they had, they would have, they would have tried to develop places like Ibadan. So now what I'm trying to tell you is, KJ, the government of Ghana, even the president of Ghana, pay a courtesy visit to him in his palace. Appreciate him for his good work he's doing, thank him. I also promise to offer him lands too, to build whatever I want to build for the Igbos. It's just the commoners in
So, Mr. Cash is talking about submitting.
Hold on.
Wait, you don't steal my time?
Yeah, you just want. I'll encourage you by just 1 minute. So this is where I'm coming from, right? I do not really understand why Cash out to bring the Yoruba people into this. There are a lot of Yoruba people that are extremely wealthy, so I'm sure they can build any community that they want, right? So just because they do not want to do it does not mean they do not have the power to do it. You see, so let's not talk about that one. Let's focus on our issue right now. because I don't really want any, attack on my platform, please. But anyways, Mother of Mankind, do you want me to give you more time, or you're gonna use your time?
More time, please, because I need to educate this Kashmir.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna bring your mother next.
Oh, okay. So, what was it? I think from everything that we've said, even Hermes, I don't think right now our issue is even with the chief aspect. We understand that, yes, you want to have a representative, yes, someone in charge of the community. We understand that part. I think the most concern, and I love how Nicole puts it, I know she's no longer on there, it's the whole idea of, having like an entire space, if it's a land, acquiring, if it's 50, maybe you're buying more, and doing specific things for the your specific people in someone's country. Do you understand? So someone else gave so many examples about how other international bodies have built schools. I used to teach in Galaxy, it's an international school. Ghanaians attended it. Children of diplomats, like everyone can attend that school. Of course, if you have money, depending on your status and all that. But the concern is other things, like just as the video that you played, I even saw in the comments people asking that there are other videos. People are also speaking because of other comments that they've seen on how this man is talking about building this community. We understand that there should be a community. When you even go to Kumasi, around the Ahunju area, there's like a specific place that that when you go here, it's like a China place. You can get so many things that are just Chinese stuff. We understand that these things, and the way the world is going, there's immigration happening everywhere. It's not only in Ghana. Do you get it? But it's just how things are being done. That's why Ghanaians are concerned, because you want to build a whole Igbo land in a Ghanaian country. That's the concern. I know my time is up in like 2 seconds.
So Cash is talking about something that happened, I think like 5 or 6 years ago. Some Chinese man that was announced as a development chief. And he was mostly like for a community of group of people. I forgot which town it was. Just for them to trade with the Chinese for development. Really, he was not appointed as the chief of that town. And Ghanaians were uproar about this thing. Like once it came out, like you don't know how Ghanaians can be very disrespectful. Like they went off about it. And this man only lasts for 2 weeks. He denounced the title, and he only lasts for 2 weeks. Like it was like no. There's no way we're gonna allow some Chinese man become a chief, because there's no leadership of any Ghanaian person in China, but somehow a whole Chinese man can become a chief for development. But he was not a chief for regular chief, because the chief was still there. He was the chief for the development, as in he was control of whatever business or like factories. It was mostly for crapping, like food and stuff like that. So you need to go in details about what you're trying to expose. You're not trying to expose nothing really. Like please calm yourself down. It's just our culture to carry people. So when someone's a chief, like we take very big deal when it comes to somebody being a king or chief. So we just carry people. When someone's a chief, like okay, what is wrong with that? You're not trying to expose nothing, so get it together. That's all. I don't like people spreading misinformation about Ghana. I'm going to always educate people.
Host, thank you for giving me some time to speak. I'm a Ghanaian, I'm an Ashanti man. What I would say is this. I'm very happy that this guy actually told us all what his plans are, because him telling us his plans now, we are fully aware of what he's trying to do, and it can never happen. Because first of all, one thing I'm fully aware is that you can't go to Igbo land. It's even hard to buy Igbo land if you're from another tribe in Nigeria.
And how do you know this Palace Night?
Because I've got more than 50 acres in Ekpe. I know Nigeria very well. And
so have you went to Nigeria to buy went to Igbo land to buy land, and then they refused to sell to you?
Yes. Even when you try to do trade itself, it's a different. Stop lying. I'm just talking from my. Stop lying. You can say that I'm lying, but I'm just talking from my.
You're lying right now. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap you up. You do not really have anything positive to say. Or like I said, I don't.
My time, host. My time, please.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the guy that just came up here that said the Igbos are not selling land, you're a bloody liar from the pit of hell. There's cities, there's Owerri, there's Abia State, there's Umuahia, there's Anambra. You've not been anywhere. Stop coming on social media with your biased mind, just speaking because you just want to speak. And the Yoruba people, on the other hand, have a population of almost 1 million people in Ghana, and they have their community, the Yoruba community, the Osu Alata community. It's predominantly the Yoruba community in Ghana. And the Yoruba, their population, as of now, I believe is 1 million plus. So if the Igbos just want to have their community, I think it's welcoming. It's not something that they want to dominate, or there is no one place that the Igbo have conquered. Tell me one place in Africa that the Igbos have conquered. One place. So you just have biased mind about Igbo people. Please, it needs to stop. If you want to come to Igbo land and buy land, you have Owerri there. Come in, buy your land, build what you want to build, develop the place. We're welcoming people. Okay? Thank you.
And yeah, I don't really understand people that are saying I should let him speak. Why would I let him speak? Is he trying to spread some propaganda against my ethnic group, and you expect me to let him speak? That is literally insane. Like, how could you say if you're from another tribe, you cannot buy land in Igbo land, whereby the Hausa community have a land? Recently, the governor from Abia State gave out a full land to the Fulanis to rear their cows. A lot of people in Igbo land owns land and properties. You're telling me, and then you want me to let him? Why would I even let him continue spreading the lie? That does not make any sense. This is the topic is on the big screen. If you're here to talk about how Igbo do not sell land to you and you do not have any evidence, please you don't even need to come on my panel to talk about it. This is about how to resolve what is going on between the Igbos and the Ghanaians, right? If you want to say Igbo people do not sell land to you, at least bring some proof. If you do not have, don't even bring it to my panel, right? Go to the Nigerian government and report it to them. If the Igbo people, according to their law, they do not like to sell land.